Okay, you like lore. You like a silly goose time, I get it. And nothing quite encapsulates that like a good game of R.E.P.O. At first glance, sure, you're just some walking trash cans. You're being told to grab some stuff, and hey, who am I to say no to some scary millennial emoji? You go in, you get the trash, you get out, that's it. It's easy. And that's what I thought at first too. R.E.P.O. is actually full to the brim with lore of all sorts, even some that hasn't been given to us yet.
There is lore. There is a lot of lore that we haven't really made public yet.
Like, who's this big bald wizard? Who's the Taxman? Or possibly the most curious of all, why do I have to touch a single gnome whenever I play this game? Seriously. So what do you say we do a deep dive on the silly and not so silly world of R.E.P.O. Hold on, if you do like lore, indie games, or just a finely crafted story, give my channel a like and subscribe to it if you want to see more videos just like this. It helps a lot. So, what are we? Which is a valid question that helps us a little bit in terms of the world's lore. We are Semibots. And Semibots seem to be the sole way items are being repossessed, whether we're made new by some autonomous factory elsewhere or pieced together from the scraps in the disposal area. We're pretty goofy looking. We get a choice between about 3 dozen colors to really show our creativity, and that's about it. All of these Semibots are essentially a carbon copy of each other. Our heads are attached to our bodies by a hinge that flaps up and down when we talk. We can collapse into a tiny pile to hide into small places, or even tumble out of this form to attack an enemy, do a little damage. Both the gravity lift and the tumble can be upgraded, so we as robots were definitely meant to be made better as long as we were good enough to retrieve enough loot. And if we're gonna talk about us, we have to talk about the Taxman. The Taxman is some sort of sentient and greedy AI that speaks exclusively through emojis. In a world that seems to have completely imploded upon itself, there's one thing that still seems to thrive. Taxes.
All right, give me the money.
And when those taxes aren't paid, the Taxman sends his army of Semibots out to repossess anything valuable enough to fulfill this debt. It's also worth noting that the Taxman is insinuated to be a Danish experiment, possibly one that went wrong, but continued to work and repossess after the extinction of humans. This is lore that's still being drip-fed to us by the devs, so if you find anything out while playing the game, leave a comment down below. We gotta figure out what the Taxman is doing with all this stuff that's being repossessed. Location, 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 that's what they always say. And you know, they're always right. R.E.P.O. at the point of making this video has a total of 5 locations to visit while collecting your supercomputers. Swift Broom Academy, Headman Lair, McJanick Station, various service stations, and the disposal arena. And we'll get to those soon, but your method of travel to all those places is a large and spacious truck of sorts. Between maps, we see a short animation of the truck ramming into the visited location, so it must be sturdy. Also worth noting, a Steam player named Wormweed did some deep diving themselves and found that most of these illustrations where the truck is driving are covered in pine trees, so this particular truck and crew must work in a specific area, likely Denmark. McJanick Station seems to be a frozen laboratory somewhere in Denmark or Greenland, and you can occasionally find a Danish flag somewhere in the area. The animation shows it somewhere high in the mountains as well. This map is rich with scientific objects, technology, test tubes, etc. And I will say this area reminds me a lot of the movie The Thing. And the monsters don't help, but the exclusive items don't either. For example, a flamethrower and a creature leg. Denmark is, of course, known for their witch folklore, so they had to have a place to study, right? Swift Broom Academy is another map we can find ourselves scavenging in. Love potions, master potions, Dumgolf's staff, these are all exclusive to this area. And one extremely valuable item you can sometimes find here is the Speed Demon 700X Performance Broom. Definitely a must-have. It's very obvious that this place is in the same vein as Harry Potter's Hogwarts. Swift Broom has 4-post beds, bubbling cauldrons leaking green slime, and chalkboards in a classroom. This was definitely a school for witches and wizards. one where the headmaster must have taken out a loan that was a bit too big. It's also worth noting that this map oftentimes has large pictures of, I guess, the elder wizards hung along hallways or above meeting rooms. How regal. Headman Manor is an old mansion somewhere in the forest. Naturally, it has heavy wooden doors, large safes, and shelves of random items to snag. And there's not much to say about this place except for who Headman actually is. The owner of this mansion is now a giant floating head. When you encounter him on any map, he roams around making loud biting noises and starts chasing you if his glowing eyes see you. He also looks probably just as afraid as you do whenever he's giving chase. We can only speculate how or if he changed into this. Maybe with the end of the world, Headman tried to save his own life with a large sum of money and it backfired, leaving him a bit brain dead and, well, just a big brain as well. The service stations seem to be old gas stations repurposed by the Taxman, and they're not all that different though. He didn't even bother to clean up the remains of those long past. What is new are the various upgrades he stocks the main shelves with for only the most promising Semibots. Health packs, strength upgrades, or even help picking up larger items. Basically, it all helps him in the long run, but doesn't want to waste the gear on Semibots that will just die immediately from a monster or two. He only wants the best to have this. A pretty cool thing, there is a secret room in the service stations, and it has a little friend in there that is dead. Stowaway Larry is what he's called, whose special abilities are listed on the wiki as being dead and alcoholism? Is that true? Our last location so far is the disposal area, an abyssal junkyard for Semibots who don't collect enough stuff to cover the debt owed. It seems like a normal junkyard at first until we are thrown several hundreds of feet underground to battle amongst each other. It seems like a fun time. For the Taxman specifically, which it all must be for his enjoyment because it looks like they transport all of the destroyed pieces back up to the top once either there's a winner or no one's left. In R.E.P.O, the monsters are obviously all over the place, and they're split up between 3 different classes, 1, 2, and 3. You'll encounter a lot of different types too. First up is the Animal, a skittish creature with crazy and erratic movements, prone to either fleeing or attacking unpredictably. It's relatively weak, but essentially just panics, charges into obstacles, and causes chaos in the process. Then we have the oh-so-cute and innocent apex predator, a duckling that seems harmless at first but then transforms into a furious flying attacker if even bumped or pet just a little bit. It bites fiercely, relentlessly pursuing the player responsible. It also needs attention if it's anywhere around you, trying to jump up into your view to try and be pet. Then you gotta watch out for the bangers, a ticking bomb skull that roams aimlessly until triggered. Once activated, it lights its fuse, charges toward you, and explodes, sending you flying or dying. Wrote that myself. Fotai is a weird one. He's an unsettling white glob of a monster that turns into a living fan and screams upon spotting you, immobilizing itself temporarily, but disabling your sprint and jump capabilities. The chef, resembling a frog in chef's attire, is slow-moving but incredibly dangerous. When you're in its line of sight, it pauses to give you a big grin before barrel rolling towards you, wielding cleavers in a cartoonish attack. But thankfully, missed attacks leave it vulnerable for a brief moment. The clown, or the beamer, is a fast and noisy clown equipped with a lethal, sweeping laser beam from its red nose. But when the laser is unavailable, it'll charge at you and kick the frick out of you. Now for this one, honestly, I'm truly not afraid of much. But gnomes, they are my true kryptonite. And that's bad news for me because packs of gnomes are a common enemy in R.E.P.O. These little freaks gang up on you to attack, or they'll jump into your cart and rummage around, destroying literally everything you've gathered. I hate them, they're awful. And beware of the headman, obviously, the giant floating head that lunges toward you with a ferocious bite. Because he's lost his mind though, he's quick to lose interest. Hidden creatures live up to their name, nearly invisible except for a smoky trail of footprints. They swiftly grab and carry off unsuspecting players, forcing them to drop crucial items. If you have any friends around, call for help, they can grab you from it. The huntsman is blind yet lethally accurate due to his apparent impeccable hearing. It patrols carefully, firing its shotgun at the slightest noise. I'm saying anything, even if you talk. Silence and stealth are your only and best strategies against it. The ceiling-bound peeper is a giant eye monster forcing you to lock eyes with it, and you can't look away, and it slowly drains your health until you break its line of sight. While you're entranced by it, your voice is also a higher pitch. The Mentalist is a psychic alien-like entity with a giant brain that silently floats about, unpredictably lifting and slamming both players and objects with its telekinetic cosmic powers. The Reaper is a scarecrow-like entity in a pink dress that relentlessly charges at you, knocking away anything in its path because it swings its bladed arms in windmill formation. I'm not making this up. Luckily, since it's a scarecrow, I guess, it's easily distracted and quickly loses track of its targets. The Robe is a stalker that grows faster and more aggressive the longer you look at it. It also doesn't hesitate to reach into hiding spots to drag out victims either. It's got some heavy Grim Reaper vibes. Rugrats, the babies, you might have seen them, they also seem harmless initially, but they specialize in stealing and throwing valuable items to you, and even heavier than gnomes, which makes them slightly more challenging to handle, and my second least favorite entity. Now, Shadow Children are slender and ghostly. They teleport around, laughing creepily as they appear and disappear. They love giving jump scares, disorienting and damaging players. And finally, Spewers. Nasty mask-like entities known for their projectile vomit, continuously attacking from a distance, and they prioritize ranged assaults, forcing players to stay on their toes when they're nearby. So each of these monsters adds a layer of danger, strategy, and intrigue to the R.E.P.O world, ensuring that no two encounters are exactly the same. R.E.P.O has turned out to be a game that really loves to tease its player base. The devs, Semiwork, even have a YouTube channel introducing us to new additions being added, what they're working on, mooses, and even teases lore. I think that channel is really worth a gander, and if you like learning more about theories on this game, Steam user Wormweed has a cool lore guide that dives a little deeper into what possibly happened to all the humans. I'll link that in the description below. But thank you so much for choosing to watch my video and watching it to the very end at that. As I said earlier, if you do like indie games, lore, or just a good story in general, give my channel a follow, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace!